Okay, yeah, see, I know it's filming correctly this time because the clock is on top. Anyway, we are going to find a blade, either here if I have it, if not, definitely at the garage. And if I go there while we're there, I'm going to pull my next project out. The other Toro recycler, the front wheel drive one. We'll see if I get lucky, and I have one here though first. And it's a 22-inch cut, so that means the blade is probably about 21 and a half inches. Because if it's a 22-inch cut, that means the deck's 22 inches wide. It means the blade's usually 21 and a half or 21 and 3/4. It's never actually 22. Same thing with a 21-inch cut. They're usually 20.5 or 20.75. So let's go see. All right, yeah, I was right. It's 21 and a half inches. Let's see what blades I got here, and if not, we got to take a ride. Probably gonna have to take a ride. I don't think I have a Toro atomic blade here. That's how you know it's a Toro blade. It says atomic on it. Let me dig through. When they get all rusty, sometimes it gets hard to see if it says it on there. This one's a Long Boy Toro. That's a 21 though, so I think that one's too short. I think these are Toro blades. I gotta match it up and see real quick. If not, I gotta go to the garage. Okay. Let's see. This is actually a brand new blade. It was never used. It would have worked except for the fact it's an inch shorter. It would still work, but it's not right. We gotta find one that's the right size. I'm gonna zip that blade off real quick, make it easier. The Toro blade has these little like wings. See them? That's Toro blade. That's an aftermarket one that's a little bit more aggressive. That would have been good. But that's for like the Lawn Boy, like my Lawn Boy. This impact's great for a lot of things, but really tight bolts, like usually blade bolts, it won't break free. I have to use the corded one, the more powerful one. But since I already had the blade off, I should be able to get it off. But this is good for typical bolts. Some cover bolts, this, that. But one's really tight for the blade, usually won't be powerful enough to get it off. Alright, it's off. Yeah, see? Atomic blade. 108-9764. They still use the same blade. I'm gonna look in the back. If not, I gotta go to the garage, which is most likely what's gonna happen. Alright, we're taking a ride. Pretty sure I have these over at the garage, thanks to my buddy Mondo, who gave me a crate full of blades before he left New Jersey for Florida. And if not, I have that one 21-inch blade that'll work. It's just, you know, an inch shorter. But I don't want to have to do that unless I have to. So. They almost look like fingernail scratches, or like a ring scratch. You know, somebody like a chick with a ring. Like I said, though, I've got it on camera. I'm just giving clues. Okay. The story behind this truck was simple. I knew it was time, right? I didn't rush it. I kept my old truck while I was waiting. And I knew I wanted either a Chevy or a Ford pickup. So I went on Craigslist and I saved the searches so that every time a private owner listed a Chevy or a Ford, I would get notified. And I started that because there's a way to do that. I'm not gonna reveal how to do that, but there is a way to do it where you could have it set to either private owner, dealer, or both. And when somebody lists something, whether it's a car, a motorcycle, a lawn tractor, you search for it, right? And then you set the search parameters and you save those. And then every time somebody lists something that's within your search parameter, it'll pop up in your email. You'll get notified. So I got notified of this truck last July, right? And I had been looking since January, right? I wasn't in a hurry. I kept using the old truck in the meantime. And then all of a sudden, this one popped up in my notification. I contacted them. Luckily, I was the first person, and I got it. And it's a really good truck, you know? And during that time period, they were selling them way over the Blue Book value, but I actually got this vehicle for Blue Book value. So I lucked out really well. You know, it's got the 8-foot bed, which I wanted, single cab. It would have been nice to have the extended cab, but then the thing would have been like a boat. It would have been too long. So that's one thing I had to adjust. Not as much interior space, but more bed space is what I needed, especially for hauling lawn tractors and large equipment. It's got a nice color to it. It's the 4.8 liter with it doesn't have that active fuel management. So all 8 cylinders fire all the time. They don't have that ones where it shuts 4 of them down, because that has issues. This was the last, this 2013. It's a 2013. I got it with 79,000 miles. And I got it for a good price. And it was the last year of this generation. And it was the last year they offered the 4.8 with all 8 cylinders firing at once. So I did good. But that's how you do it when you go looking for a car. You don't just buy the first thing you see. You know, you do the research, you figure out what it is you want. Look how beautiful this camera films. It is actually that nice, but the colors make it even more vibrant. I like this side of the neighborhood. But anyway, so what I was saying was, you don't rush it. You put those search parameters on, you hold on to your old vehicle, and then when something nice comes along, boom, you get notified. And I was the first one to reach out, and there was another person right behind me, and if I hadn't taken it, he would have gotten it. So I got lucky. The lawn still looks good, but look, it's already growing back. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to cut it even shorter next time, because I don't like having to cut this lawn too often. You know, I don't mow lawns anymore. That's not my thing. So, okay. So we're here for a blade, and then we're gonna get that other mower. So the last point to that story was, when I got the truck, I spent a great deal of time cleaning it, you know, doing everything I had to do to get it up to my specifications, the bed liner, all that. So when I start seeing fresh scratches, because people don't give a shit, or they do it on purpose because they're assholes, that's when I got a problem. That's when I get pissed off. And that's why I said in one of my videos, this vehicle has cameras on it, my property has cameras on it, don't do anything stupid. And evidently they either didn't hear that video or whatever, and I've got scratches. So I reviewed back the footage of the night, and now I've got them. I've got them. And I've got 5 years to decide whether I want to do something about it or leave it be. But I have that, I have that over their head, so they really shouldn't have messed with it. But you can't tell people who don't give a rat's ass. That's the thing about New Jersey. I mean, that could happen anywhere, but that's the thing about New Jersey. That's the way people are. All right, let's get to this. Find the blade, and then get that other mower. All the blades are right there. Almost positive I have one. And the other Toro, you can tell just by looking at the cover, is right there. That one's got a nice clean air filter too. That one's in even nicer shape. The only thing is it's a front wheel drive, not a rear wheel drive. But that one's gonna be nice. That one's coming out. And that hood, I gotta take pictures of that hood again, because the ad got so old that I can't even find it anymore. And even if I could, the photos wouldn't be there. So I gotta take pictures of that hood and repost it. Because one guy had one on for $250. So I put mine on for $100 less. I would have sold mine first, but the stupid ad went bad, you know, got old and fell off before his. So I think he sold his for that much. Because it's a plastic hood, they crack up. So, let me dig out a blade and then start digging this stuff out. That's crazy. Out of all those blades in there, I only had one. And it's in worse shape than mine. Is mine bent? Oh, that's weird. This is mine. It almost seems like it's bent compared to this. Maybe not. And then that's a Lawn Boy. Here's a Toro. This one's just, but this one's in worse shape than mine. Damn. So it's either gonna be this one, which is the one I was using, or we're going with a Lawn Boy, but it's an inch shorter. You can barely tell though. Look at it. Yeah, no, it's so it takes what, a 1/4 inch off of each end. It's barely noticeable. But none of them are in fantastic shape. But that's the mine. I'm gonna have to resharpen mine. Might reuse mine, or use that brand new Lawn Boy one that was an inch shorter. So it'd be a 1/2 inch shorter on each side. Not huge notice, but still. I'm gonna see if I have an aftermarket one in here that I can use that is the right length first. If not, that's what I gotta do. That's crazy. Hopefully the one on there isn't as in bad a shape. I doubt it is. That machine looks pretty clean. Huh. And you can tell it, hey, you had Toros in here because these are for the Toros. These pieces. They go on there like this, see? So, let me look a little bit harder. That's crazy though. Bingo, I found it right here. Brand new. Atomic blade 108-7964. Where is it? 108. I can't see it on that one. How about the other one? 108-9764. Yep. All right. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. It's brand new. Got lucky. I missed that one the first time. So there you go. And this one was in the second best shape. This is not the one I brought. This was the one I brought, and this one was really bad. So that was the second best one. And then like these, like I said, this would have worked, but it's an inch shorter. And some of these are like universal ones that may have worked, but I got lucky. Thanks, Mondo. Mondo, thanks again. I don't know how much those blades are. Those Atomic Toro blades are new. What the cheapest you can get them for, but I'm guessing you saved me just 20 bucks at least right now, right here. And that's not the first time. Again, thanks again, pal. You ever need anything, remember, don't forget to ask. And you'll see me down in Florida soon enough. First to come check out how you're doing, and then that's where I'm planning on heading eventually. Whether it's by you or a different part of the state. Look at this, a brand new Craftsman blade. That's good. That is to be determined, but I have to save up enough to go down there to do it right. But I am on the tail end of living in New Jersey, like I've already said. So it's gonna be a good thing, a good fresh start for me, for a lot of things. So, but yeah, I got lucky. These the ones I just dug out. Hold on a second. Let me put them away in a good order. I knew there was one in there, so that's good. So I still have only spent 10 bucks on that mower that I'm going to sell for 200. A couple people mentioned paint. That mower doesn't need paint. The top of the deck is fine. It just needs to be washed. And I'm not painting the bottom. You don't. 99% of people don't even look on the bottom, and the bottom gets, the paint always peels off the bottom anyway. And you get down to surface metal. I'm not painting under there. I'm not spending that much time on a push mower, and I'm going to sell for 200. 190 profit. That blade's going on. I don't even have to sharpen it because it's brand new. Okay? And that mower is getting washed, and it's going up for sale by this evening. That's it. Done. I'm going to pull that one out now because that's the next one I'm going to do. Since we're in Toros. We're on to the Toros right now. The recyclers. Let me get that out. That's what I mean, though. Mondo, he was from Jersey. He was one of the most generous, kindest people I ever met. But he left. I have met some really great people while in this hobby, in this line of work. There's great people out there. There really are. You know, and there's also great people that I grew up with. It's just unfortunately what happened was I lost touch with them and ended up with people that weren't so great, and I went the wrong path. But the bottom line is, for me, okay, now that I'm a decade out of the mess, okay, looking back and seeing, okay, a lot of people are doing a lot better than me still. It's time to go down to Florida for a fresh start, meet a good woman, and start my life down there and have my own home. Because I can guarantee you, once I have a woman to love and be loved back, you're not going to hear nothing from me no more. You know, and I won't have time to be bothered with anything, okay? And let me tell you something. The one up here that gave me a hard time, in the end, it was her loss, because I would have loved her with all my heart, and that's a fact. But at the time, I was screwed up. There was a few times I wasn't, but she always wanted to make things difficult. That was her choice, okay? At the time, she was a free spirit. She wanted to do things. She wanted to be free, and that's fine. I should have just been cool with her and been friends with her. But, you know, when I first met her, I gave her flowers. I let her know, hey, you know, I like you a lot, and not just because of how you look. We had things in common, but for whatever reason, she just wasn't into me, even though I spent the time going back to junior high school to see her. And then she ended up, you know, hanging out and, you know, seeing other guys that honestly weren't as good because they were talking shit behind her back. And then she had me take her to the hospital because the one kid was in real bad shape. And I felt bad for him because of it, but you know, and he passed because of cancer. But past that, he wasn't a very good person. He used to talk shit about her behind her back. You know, he had that, he said that disgusting thing getting out of my car at one time about, oh, I'm going to get me some head. Yeah, man. And, you know, we know who that was. And it was like, I was there the whole time, but, you know, and that was before I had any kind of attitude or any kind of issues with this individual. But that's the choices she made. And that was also because, you know what, he grew up in that neighborhood, and a lot of those people grew up over there next to her, so they had that advantage. They were in a grade only right above her, so they were able to see her in school. They lived in the same neighborhood, so they were able to get to know each other better. I was over here, I was 2 grades above her. I didn't get to know her as well. Although she did meet plenty of people that were in my grade and, you know, hung out with some of them too. And we could have hung out too. But the problem was, when I because after that, I hadn't seen her for about a year. And then when I finally did see her again, she was hanging out with someone who, in my opinion, was a bad influence on her. Okay, one. And two, I was already doing bad things. I mean, I was only a pothead at the time, but I was all burnt out. That affected me, okay? And then, me being all jealous and having a big mouth and being an asshole. And if I had just listened to her a few times, like the one time when she said, "Don't talk about me," I should have said, "All right, you got it, I won't." I should have kept my big freaking mouth shut, because you know what? Opening my mouth, the only thing that did was cause people to go around and go, hey, what? You're hanging out with Doug? This and that? Because, a lot of it was because people are assholes, and secondly, probably because they were jealous that I hadn't got to spend some time with her. This girl had 10 guys following her home from school every day. I mean, she was super pretty, no doubt about it. I haven't seen any real recent photos, but she was really always super pretty. But that's not the only reason I liked her, though. And I don't think she understands that. It wasn't just superficial for me. We did have things in common, and when we did get along, we were cool. But unfortunately, things just went sideways, and then she wanted to, make things really difficult and then take things to the extreme instead of just talk to me. And then, if you had talked, and if she had just talked to me, then, I would have backed off, and then who knows, maybe 5 years later, time would have went by, I would have been different, and we would have been cool. It didn't work out that way. And so she hates me. She's married now. That's her choice, okay? That was her choice all along. But I was there, and from the moment I saw her, I was like, damn. That's all I know. From the moment I saw her, I said, damn. Who is that? And, my self-esteem was still high at the time, and I was confident, and I met her, and I hung out with her, and I enjoyed spending time with her, but unfortunately, things went sideways with her. So, things go the way they go, but when I looked back and saw, okay, she's married now, I'm not mad because she's married or I didn't get to marry her. I'm mad because all this time passed and I didn't get to be a part of her life. Instead, it went the exact opposite, the worst way things could go. And all these other people did get to be a part of her life. And if I hadn't been such a jerk off, I would have been too. That's what I was disappointed about, And for her, she probably thinks I'm, who knows, crazy, which is not true, or has emotional problems, really not true either, or just whatever. I'm not even going to say any other words. It's not true. All it was I was good 9.5 years. I went back to social media locally. I saw what I saw. That was one of the things I saw, and it just kind of put me down. It brought me down for a couple months because it made me realize all the good things I missed out on in my 20s. We could have just been friends. We could have been cool. We could have hung out. We could have went to parties. We could have done things together, and we didn't have to be boyfriend and girlfriend or any of that. We could have just been friends. There was no reason it couldn't have gone that way except for my poor attitude. So, but listen, you should at least have the respect to, if I'm going to give you a ride, and I'm giving you and your boyfriend a ride, and I kind of like you too, don't make out with the kid in the back of my car like I'm a chauffeur and get me all upset. At least give me the respect of, let him sit up front. You sit in the back. I give you a ride back, and I would have been cool. But of course, that's what happened. So I got pissed, snapped at her, stepped on my gas out of there. She ends up taking the letter I wrote to her when I got out of rehab down there and reads it in front of them to, because I heard her, she was going to do whatever it took to hurt me back, which she did because she's smart. And then that was the start of the end of it going really bad. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. So that's why I should have been more gentle towards this person, much more kinder, like I had always been in the beginning. Never gotten jealous or shown how much I cared because it wasn't good, although I really did care because there were people that were talking shit about her behind her back. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? And yet, for whatever reason, she would continue to go back to these people. They didn't give a rat's ass. And maybe, for some reason, people say that's, for whatever reason, women like that. You talk shit to them, or you act like you don't give a shit, and then that's what gets them in closer. Okay, I kind of get that, but I just didn't have it in me to talk shit about her behind her back like that one asshole who ended up dying of cancer. He really wasn't that good of a person. He goes, yeah, she's my girlfriend, but her sister's even hotter. That was so fucked up to say, man. That dude was a cocky SOB too. So, hey, she wanted to be with people like that instead of me. That was her choice. You know what I mean? Everybody has free will in this world. I can't force anybody to do anything they want. Okay? But I can guarantee you, if I had just been nicer, and if I had my priorities straight at the time, and if we set up to hang out and we hung out, and I wasn't all burnt out and acting stupid and idiotic, things would have went different. But listen, that's the way it went. I'm not like that now, and it's too late because she's married. Although, okay, she's married. That doesn't mean that she can't forgive me, I can't forgive her, we can't be at least at peace with each other. That I wouldn't mind at all. But that's on her. There's nothing I can do. I want that, but that's on her to make that decision. That's all I'm saying. Because if that happened, it would put closure to that, and for me, it would be really good, and even for her, it would be good. But if things had gone differently in the past, because she got all bent out of shape thinking I was infatuated, and maybe to a point I was, but I guarantee you, if things had just run their course naturally, I would have gotten over that. You know what I mean? They call that the honeymoon phase, whether you're married or not. When you first meet a girl and you really, really like her, they call that the honeymoon phase. I would have gotten over that naturally had things run their course naturally. Unfortunately, things weren't allowed to go that way, and bad things happened as a result. And then, I disrespected her mother in front of her one time at her house, and then I did it another time, which I feel awful about because you don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm sure she loves her mom. Who doesn't, right? So that was messed up. And that's the last I'm going to talk about that. Now, let me dig this, but I just want to make that clear. That was one of the biggest mistakes in my life because this is someone who I really did care about. Okay? And unfortunately, from age, for me, like, oh God, it must have been either 19 or 20 on, she didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. So, I know we never dated, and I know we weren't kids anymore. That was things that didn't have to be said. Those were things I obviously knew, okay? I screwed up. But at the same time, if she would have cut me a little bit of slack, things would have gone completely different. That's all I'm saying. All right? And I wouldn't be here bitching and moaning about that situation, among other things. But that seems to be the one that sticks the hardest and hurts the most. Because then I see she knows a kid that I grew up with. And I guarantee you that kid probably talked shit to her about me too, and they had to laugh at my expense too. Because, when you're growing up with kids you're friends with kids yeah, you have your ins and outs with them. So I guarantee you, and that's just disappointing too, because then you find out, okay, she was right around here, but she wouldn't have nothing to do with me. And it's very disappointing. That's all it was. It was disappointing. I'm over it now, but it was disappointing. The only thing I wish is that there could be closure. Hey, I forgive you. You forgive me. It's the past. Mistakes were made. You're doing good now. You're doing good now. It was nice that things went good for you. I'm glad you're doing good. We're at peace. Okay? That would be awesome. This way I don't have to worry about her going around talking shit about me. I'm not talking shit about her. I said one stupid thing to her friend. I said, you don't tell somebody, you don't tell a girl with a low IQ that it's okay to disrespect me. That was wrong. I said that out of being upset. That girl does not have a low IQ. That girl is smart because, and I've seen it. So, but, you know, we did have things in common. But she's smart. More than she ever gave herself credit for. It's the last I'm going to talk about it. But this was someone, out of all the girls I knew, this one, even though we didn't date, got into my heart the furthest, okay? So she was able to, you know, cause some real serious pain. That's all I'm going to say. And she knows it, and she still can if she wanted to. Not now, but she could have, and she knows that if she wanted to, she could cause me to get upset. But that's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. That's not the way to be. Everybody should be at peace with each other. Everybody should be nice to each other. Not get a rise out of that guy and get him all upset to make yourself feel better. That's not the way to be. It's not the way to for anybody to be. I don't feel like that. I'm not trying to do that. That's all I'm saying. So, to all you out there, to everybody, that's all I'm saying. But when she started giving me those much of a hard time, that's when I should have known to just back off and find someone else. But you see how I am, even with machinery. I don't give up easy, okay? If I have my mind set on something, if I have a goal, I am going to fight like hell to complete or succeed at that goal or what I set. So I fought like hell to not let it go the way it did, and it still went the way it did. So seeing what happened only made me upset because it showed how much I wasted all this time, and in the end, it didn't change anything or make anything positive. So, but if I was willing to go through that much trouble, okay, that must have meant I must have really cared, not just the nonsense. I really did care, okay? And I did do things wrong, and I did disrespect the mother, and I feel terrible for that. I should have never done that. Some of the idiotic things I've said, I never should have said, okay? I recognize that. I know I was wrong, and I'm sorry for that. It's the past. All right, let's get this Toro out of here. All right, here it is. It's an overall nice shape. These front wheels are worn. I have these wheels. Those ones that were at my house, those were for a front wheel drive, so I've got them. This is a little banged up. I'll just straighten that out. That's no problem. Cover's in good shape, even shinier than the other one. The screws aren't all rusted. Needs a little bit of paint help right here. I'm pretty sure Regal Red's a match to Toro Red. Looks like mice might have been packing shit in over here. Or maybe that's just grass. It takes the same bag as the other one. I do have the bag for it. This is a model 20016. The other one was a 20018. Let me see if I can grab the year off of this one and tell you exact. The other one was an 03. So, if the other one was an 03, right, what year was this one? Good old Tecumseh. They're usually pretty good at telling me. Meets 06 standards, but that doesn't mean it's an 06. Where is it? Is it down there? Is it under there? Let me find the year real quick. But it's a front wheel drive with rear high wheels. That's how a front wheel drive is supposed to be. Rear wheel drive units aren't supposed to have high wheels. That was not supposed to be done like that. The air filter, this air filter is much cleaner. This carb, the primer is gonna have to be changed, but the carb itself hopefully isn't awful. See, this one says remove, rotate to remove. That's a real Toro one, not a Craftsman one. They're the same, except the Craftsman ones say Craftsman on it. That's why I had to Dremel that Craftsman symbol off of that one. And you know, she did see one kid around here that lived right by me, right during the time I was hanging out back then, and I should have just woke up back then and said, hey, forget about the getting jealous or dating her part. Just be your friend and go with the flow. Oh, wow, we might get lucky here. Tank's dry. So the carb might not even be in bad shape, other than it needs a primer. Oil's low. Let me see if it's low. Hopefully it's not locked up. Cord is way out there, so I think the recoil probably needs help. That's no big deal. Whether the recoil is messed up or just needs help, that's an easy enough fix. Yes, you know, the recoil is just all the way out. But another way to know if it's not seized is just go under here to the blade. For safety, you could pull the spark plug out. I know it doesn't have fuel or anything, so it's not going to start. But look, it's free. So that's good. In fact, if you turn it over all the way, you'll hear compression, I'm sure. Yeah, it's got it. It's got the compression. And of course I have a bag for it. I just gotta dig out the bag. So yeah, it's just gonna need a primer. Recoil needs to be repaired because it's not coming back in. Replace the front wheels. A little bit of touch-up paint here. Find a bag for it. And the blade overall, it's conditioned. Oh yeah, the blade's in much better shape than the other one. White stuff like that means there was lime used on the property. Luckily it didn't eat the thing up. And the back flap is in good shape on this one. The other one it wasn't. This one's in better shape. Oh yeah, year. Let me look. Hold on. This one's an 02, so this one's actually a year older than the other one. I'm not exactly sure what year they started making this design. It was either 01 or 2000. I think 2000 was when they started making these. Because that one that I went in the backyard that had the aluminum deck, that was a 98, and that was like the very first personal pace. But yeah, this is gonna be a $200 mower too. So let me find a bag for it real quick, which I know I have here and at my house. And then we're ready to pack her in. Alright, no Toro bag here, but I definitely have in my house. But anyway, see that Tecumseh engine? You see it says AMF? Yeah, that's the Bowling Company. They also made snow blowers and some power equipment way back in the day, in the 60s and 70s. I think AMF got spun off into a different company now. But yeah, that's the Bowling Company. Funny, right? Just an interesting to note. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. I'm going to load this one up in. Because I got to take pictures of that hood again so I can relist it. So I can get that hood out of here. I've got engines here that are blown, but they got good parts. I got to take the parts off of them still. I have a lot to do. Oh, yeah, because I was offered a Kubota tractor. And it probably just needed the fuel system cleaned. It was in Jackson. And I contemplated taking it, but I don't have the time and I don't have the space. It's an older one. I think they were built between 91 and 96. But it was a Kubota with a Kubota engine. But still, it was older, and I don't know how much you can get for them. I know the Kubotas now, like the bigger Kubotas, they're like 10 grand. The ones with the shovel and the backhoe, they're expensive machines. But I can't do it right now. I got all this I got to deal with. I can't take anything else on. I got to dismantle this. Nobody wants this one. I sold the other one in the winter. You know, because this has got a good engine that people like. And it's got a few parts that people need for theirs. But other than that, this is taking up space. I got so much shit to do. It's not even funny. That was not mine. That's the front bucket from the one I took apart. I sold the back end of it. Or I tore the back end apart because it was busted and used some of the parts and sold some of the parts. There's another one, mine, the front end and back there, because I had a rotary mower because those things took attachments, and I sold the rotary mower one for $650 last summer. So I still have Aaron's 1965 through 1973 Aaron's 10,000 series 24 wide buckets, two of them. That's the pre 69 one where the things have V bars for the main crossbars. The other one has the 1970 69-70 style where it's it's not the same. They used a different style crossbar, but you can see I painted it and everything. I got to put those up for sale probably this winter, so somebody that has a beat up bucket or whatever, it doesn't work anymore, can buy that. I can get that out of here. I have so much crap to do, it's unbelievable. I have like 3 of those Toros right there, and I've got another one at my house, but they're old school. You know what though, I'm not going to spend that much time on them. I'm going to get them going. I've got bags for them, I think, these old school bags. I sold one in the past for $150, but you see the paint flakes off the aluminum on them. You know, it's stuff like that. Push mowers, like I said, they're not bigger paydays, but I got to get them out of here, and that's that. So we're gonna call it on this. The next thing you'll see is probably the outcome of the Toro, the other one I worked on, and then we're gonna get started on this one. All right, I gotta take some pictures. Later, guys. Thanks for watching. And look, if you don't want to hear about the personal stuff that I talk about, I mean, for some people, that, you know, that's a learning experience. But if you don't want to, fast forward through it. I'm not really going to be talking much more about it, but it's just, I don't know. I hate being treated like I'm alienated, like I'm this monster. I'm not. I'm a nice guy. I'm a smart, intelligent, nice guy. And I'm decent looking, and there's no reason for anybody to treat me any different than anybody else. You know, honestly. So, whether I have ADD or OCD or whatever, believe me, you can live with that stuff and you can manage it, and you can be just fine. Trust me. I was for 9.5 years, and I'm fine now. As you can see, I have a bit of a hoarding thing going on, but it's all related to what I do. I've got that generator I keep in case I need. There's another one back there I've got to fix. It's just, believe me, I get overwhelmed because it's New Jersey. I keep getting more and more free stuff. That's how it is in Jersey. It's not like that in other states. Like Florida, my buddy said, it ain't like that down there. So I'm enjoying it while I can, but it gets insane because this needs to be a shop, not a storage facility, a shop. I need to be able to sit at this desk, have my computer here, look up parts. This will be my work table, you know? This will be my area I work, and then I'll have a few things, you know, lined up to work on, not like this. And there's shelves that aren't in use where these engines could be sitting up and out of my way. It's just, you know, I got a lot of organization to do, for sure. I just throw this stuff in here, and then I pick one, and I got to get this stuff moving. Like Norge696 said, work your ass off and get it done. So you may see less videos because I'm going to be sitting here working my ass off, getting this stuff done and out of here so I can get back to the stuff I like doing, the bigger stuff, the tractors, the bigger money. You know what I mean? Not to say that, you know, if I fix that in a day and I get $200, that's not bad. But a lawn tractor, you fix that in a day or two, and you make, you know, $1,000, $1,200, like Tractor King Local does, man, he's killing it. That's where I want to be. And then eventually switch over to repairs, like my buddy Clements, small engines. He's got 1,500 customers. 1,500 return and repair customers a year. You know how good he must be doing? That's where I need to be. And then, once I've got the money saved, I can move to Florida and do that down there, and I will be set for life. Goodbye, New Jersey. Hello, Florida. Hello, beautiful women. Hello, my future wife. Hello, you know, where it goes from there. And life will be good. And that's it. At 36, it's time. It's well overdue. That's the last I'm going to say about it. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. 73% of you are still not subscribed and you're watching these videos. Take the second and subscribe. Feel free to comment. Your comments, I read all the comments. I reply to the comments, or I give them the thumbs up and the heart. I always spend the time, and, you know, I learn from you too. Like Lawn Boy, I didn't realize they were out. They must have went out in 2018 or 2019. That was something I learned off a subscriber that commented. So bring the comments, give me the thumbs up, and we'll keep this channel growing. Because, you know, I'm the Jersey guy. You've got a couple up in Long Island. Mondo's in Florida, but he's pretty busy. So he's not making many videos. And I'm doing my thing. So, and 2021, the end of 2021... And the beginning of 2022 were rough for me, but by the end of 2022, I want to say this was an excellent year again, as usual. And things are only going to get better, and things are only going to get, because I'm getting stronger now. Like Instagram, going local again, I learned from that. It only made me stronger. So when I do go back to the main platforms, I know what to expect, what to look out for, what to say, what not to say, all that. All right, guys, that's it on my spiel. We'll see you on the next one. Later.